Chapter 4. If I remembered that I had this task, I would. 25th until 30th meeting. Activity 1.
Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh was the first person to make a non-stop solo flight across the Atlantic. He was born on February 4th, 1902 in Detroit. He attended the University of Wisconsin for 2 years, but withdrew to attend a flying school in Lincoln, Nebraska. He began flying in 1922, and 4 years later, he piloted a mail plane between St. Louis, Missouri, and Chicago. He decided to compete for a prize of $25,000 offered in 1919 for the first non-stop transatlantic flight between New York City and Paris. In his single-engine monoplane, Spirit of St. Louis, Lindbergh left Roosevelt Field at 07:52 a.m. on May the 20th, 1927. After a flight of 33 hours 32 minutes, he landed at the Le Bourget Airport near Paris. His achievements won the enthusiasm and acclaim of the world, and he was greeted as a hero in Europe and the U.S. If Lindbergh stayed in school and studied engineering, he probably would never become a pilot. He was later commissioned a colonel in the U.S. Air Service Reserve and was a technical advisor to commercial airlines. He made goodwill tours of Mexico, Central America, and the West Indies. Lindbergh flew over Yucatan and Mexico in 1929 and over the Far East in 1931. And in 1933, he made a survey of more than 48,000 kilometers for transatlantic air routes and landing fields. Lindbergh also collaborated with the French surgeon Alexis Carrel in experiments to develop an artificial heart pump. Despite early promising results, the experiments were finally given up without entirely achieving their purpose. The two men were co-authors of The Culture of Origins, 1938. Lindbergh's writings include the story of his historic flight, We, 1927, his autobiography, The Spirit of St. Louis, 1953, Pulitzer Prize, 1954, and the wartime journals of Charles A. Lindbergh, 1970. If Lindbergh hadn't traveled around the country on the post-flight tour, people wouldn't have considered aviation as a means of travel.